It comes as Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein announced indictments against a dozen Russian agents. But there are more issues on the table than just meddling in American democracy. Let's bring in John Hanna. He's a former National Security Advisor to Vice President Dick Cheney, also served in the State Department for both President Bill Clinton and President George H.W. Bush, and now works as a senior counselor at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, which describes itself as a nonprofit, nonpartisan foreign policy and national security institute. That is quite an introduction, sir.
Thank you, Rick.
Are your expectations on the summit with Putin high or low?
Well, I think, as President Trump said in his press conference today with Theresa May, he's not sure how much will come out of it. I think he's right to set expectations low. The president himself, as we saw in the Singapore summit with Kim Jong-un, puts a very high premium on developing these kinds of personal relationships with world leaders, getting to know them, and then hoping that from that will flow a greater ability to identify mutual interests in areas where our interests might overlap and we can actually get some good work done.
The president said he would confront Putin on meddling, but he said there may not be a Perry Mason moment, and then Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein might have given him one of those today.
Yeah, no, I think these indictments today really do throw a bit of a monkey wrench into the summit. The pressure on the president is going to be even higher than it was before to really come down very hard on Putin on the issue of election meddling, which we all know the president has never really had his heart in, and he's been reluctant to hit this issue as hard as most of his critics want. And I just think it's going to make it much more difficult to have that kind of friendly, can't we just get along kind of meeting with Putin that the president has long sought.
Senator Chuck Schumer today said the president should cancel the meeting with Putin, that it was an insult to democracy. What do you think?
I think that's crazy. We've got to step back and remember that these remain the two largest nuclear weapon states in the world, that our relations over the last decade have gotten to as low a point as they've been since the end of the Cold War. It makes every sense in the world for these leaders to be able to get together, look each other in the eye, and express not only their desire to work together and to stabilize their relationship, but to talk about areas where we have real differences still.
Well, John, break that down for us. What does each side have to gain from this summit?
First and foremost, I think you do have to have some stability in the relationship between the two largest nuclear powers in the world. It can be the chances for miscalculation, for misunderstandings remain very great. I think we've got to avoid that. We've got to open up a channel for real diplomacy between us. Beyond that, I think the area where they may be looking to demonstrate that they can do something together is Syria. And for the United States in particular, that's the question of Iran's penetration of Syria, its efforts to develop a land bridge all the way to the Mediterranean, to Israel's northern border, that danger of an Israeli-Iranian major war that neither Russia nor the United States wants. I think the president's looking for Putin's help with his ally, the Iranians.
Yeah, we know that Russia has a close relationship with Iran and with Syria. So that is obviously a key concern and a key focus of this meeting. John Hanna, we appreciate your time very much today, sir.
Thank you, Rick.